Let's target the AFC West today. Top free agent needs. Both the Broncos and Chargers made back-to-back years while the Chiefs missed the playoffs for the first time since the 2014 season. Let's bring in Ryan Wilson and John Breech, who are veterans to this exercise. Now, we're going in order of the standings from this past season. Let's start with the Broncos. Interestingly enough, both Ryan and John going with a Kenneth. Ryan, which Kenneth are you going with here?
Hey, Tommy. I've been accused of being cheap on this
So I've heard.
week-long.
So I've heard.
So I busted out my Fred Rogers sweater, suit jacket, and my $100 G-Shock. So let's keep the bargains going. I should be doing an infomercial, I feel like. I'm going to go with the cheaper on paper version of Kenneth Gainwell, but just as effective. He was the Steelers' offensive MVP last year, signed a one-year deal, and he was way better than expected in terms of what Pittsburgh was thinking they were getting in that running back. And it's going to be hard for Pittsburgh to keep him. And I think he is a perfect fit for what Sean Payton is looking for in the backfield, because we know that Kenneth Gainwell can run the ball, but he was also one of Aaron Rodgers' favorite targets as a receiver. And I gave some thought to Kenneth Walker here, but he gets a few points dinged because he's not the receiver that Kenneth Gainwell is. He can catch the ball, but he's going to cost a lot more. Kenneth Gainwell will come at a relative bargain compared to the top-priced running backs in this market, and he's going to hit the ground running based on what we saw him do last year. And this offense with Bo Nix, I would expect him to be even more explosive.
Yeah, Ryan, if we were car shopping, you're the responsible guy out there looking for the 2002 Buick LeSabre. I'm out looking for Porsches. That's what I'm spending my money on. I don't care how much anything costs. You went with the responsible Kenneth Gainwell. I'm throwing all my money at the Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker. There's probably even a tax to that, because if he didn't win Super Bowl MVP, maybe he doesn't go for as much on the free agent market. He was going to get paid no matter what, but now he's going to get even more. But if you look at what Sean Payton has done in Denver, it really feels like he is trying to find a running back that is perfect for his system there. We saw Javonte Williams there. Eventually, Payton said, yeah, we're just going to let you go. Williams left. Then they draft R.J. Harvey. They bring in J.K. Dobbins. Dobbins is now set to be a free agent. Harvey is fitting in well, but you still kind of need the thunder to Harvey's lightning, and that is where Kenneth Walker comes in. We saw what he is capable of in Seattle. He's a powerful back, and when Zach Charbonnet went down and Walker became the go-to guy, there was no more running back by committee. He proved that he could carry that load, and that's probably one of those things that other NFL teams wanted to see, so that makes Walker an attractive option, and one I think the Broncos should certainly look into.
So let's keep the car dealership theme going here for the Chargers, because you guys are both going to have to splurge for luxury cars in this particular instance, because it's number one, number two free agents in Pete Prisco's top 100. And Ryan Wilson, you're going with number one, fixing that O-line with center Tyler Linderbaum.
Yeah, so I'm standing at the Buick dealership looking across to the Porsche dealership, and I'm going to run through traffic to get over there because, look, man, this is not the time to cheap out on your franchise quarterback. Bradley Bozeman retired. Zion Johnson's a free agent. Jamari Sawyer's a free agent. And unless you have a plan of just playing with two offensive linemen and Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater, you have to be very serious about upgrading this offensive line. The Chargers have a ton of cap space, and knowing that, I'm going with Tyler Linderbaum, and I think Breech talked about this yesterday. This is going to be well north of Creed Humphrey money, so maybe 22, 23 million. I do not care. You have to protect Justin Herbert. We know how Jim Harbaugh likes to run the ball and start with the run and get everything going off of that. I'm paying Tyler Linderbaum whatever he wants. So what's it going to take to get you in this car today, Tyler Linderbaum?
And as Wilson mentioned, the Chargers do have a lot of salary cap space, north of $80 million. So they can afford two Porsches here. They can get Tyler Linderbaum on offense. They can get my guy on defense, which is Trey Hendrickson. You look at what the Chargers are dealing with going into free agency. Khalil Mack is about to be a free agent. Odafe Owe is about to be a free agent. So they have to replace that pass rushing ability that they're about to lose. And there is no one better out there than Hendrickson. There's a reason he's the number 2 guy in Pete Prisco's rankings. He led the NFL in sacks in 2024. He had 17.5 sacks in 2023. Yes, he dealt with injuries last season, but he has proven over the past 5 years that if he is healthy, he is dominant. I know the age is factor because he is north of 30, but look, Jim Harbaugh loves those old school guys. So I think if Hendrickson can come in and produce, Harbaugh would love it.
Chargers have the most money to spend if you take a look at all the metrics. To your point, they could spend both of the money on big players there, expensive players. We'll see if it actually works out that way. Let's get to the Chiefs, where, again, for the first time in a long time, they didn't make the playoffs. Jawan Taylor in the news cycle this week, trying to do some cap gymnastics here. Breech, I'm going to give you first word when it comes to Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm going to give the Chiefs something Patrick Mahomes has never really had, and that is a really good running back in Travis Etienne. He is going to be leaving Jacksonville. We saw him cross the 1,000-yard mark last season. He's actually gone over 1,000 yards in 3 of his 4 seasons in Jacksonville, and the reason I'm mentioning that is because Patrick Mahomes has never had a 1,000-yard rusher in his backfield since he's been a starter. The Chiefs, last time they had somebody cross the 1,000-yard mark was Kareem Hunt during his rookie year in 2017. Mahomes was on the team, but he was not the starting quarterback. So this really takes a little bit of pressure off of Mahomes, and this is the one year where you do want to do that because he's going to be coming off that ACL tear in his knee. He's going to need to get warmed up, get comfortable. So if you have a great running back out in the backfield who can also catch passes, that is a double plus. And then you throw in a few other weapons, and the Chiefs should be ready to roll once again next season.
You know who else can catch passes, Breech? Former Patriots safety Jalen Hawkins led the team last year with 4 interceptions. I have the Chiefs targeting him. Brian Cook is going to hit free agency. It looks like maybe they bring him back now that Trent McDuffie has been traded. But either way, they need to bolster the secondary, especially the free safety position. And Jalen Hawkins will be a relative bargain compared to what Brian Cook may cost. And the fact that he's a ball hawk, all the better in that Steve Spagnuolo defense. They also, Tommy, have those 2 first-round picks now because of the Trent McDuffie trade. So they can go any number of directions. Offensive line. Jeremiah Love might be there at 9, so even if they get Travis Etienne, maybe you double dip, wide receiver, defensive line, edge rush. It's crazy to say that there are a lot of needs that the Chiefs need to fill, but in this instance, I'm back to the bargain basement shopping a little bit, but with ball hawk Jalen Hawkins.
No doubt. Brad, you brought up the McDuffie thing as well for Kansas City to try to amass some more draft capital. Let's finish up with the Raiders. We all know they have the top overall pick. They have a big reconstruction project ahead of them, Ryan, but give me a sense of like a quick lean of what you think they'll do in the draft, because that then also leads into the offseason and your top target for the Silver and Black.
Well, if they don't draft Fernando Mendoza #1, John Spytek might be working with us in the very near future, so they got to do that. Otherwise, they have needs everywhere. They should potentially get a ton of draft capital should they trade Max Crosby and maybe even a player or two. We'll see how far down the road we get on that. I have them going with Isaac Seumalo, the former Steelers left tackle. He's going to be 32 years old, didn't give up a sack last year, and he is as tried and true as you can get along the offensive line. Veteran leadership, and they need some of that on this young football team. As they start to reinvent themselves yet again with their new QB1 when they draft Mendoza in 50 or so days. He'll come at a relative bargain, probably $9 or $10 million a year. They have the room to do that. But at the end of the day, we talk about this all the time, guys. You have to protect your young quarterback or your old quarterback. Fit matters. We talk about Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones and Baker Mayfield. Start with the offensive line, Breech, and then worry about everything else after you do that.
Yeah, Ryan, I love that. If you're the Raiders and you're taking Mendoza with the 1st overall pick, everything you do this offseason should be to make his life more comfortable so that he can develop, and adding a top-tier offensive lineman would certainly help. And I think adding a top-tier receiver would help, and that's why I have Romeo Doubs going to the Raiders. You kind of look at the Raiders offense, and on paper, it's not bad. They have one of the top tight ends in the NFL, and Brock Bowers. You have Ashton Genty, who's coming off a pretty good rookie season, should only get better. So the one thing they're kind of lacking is that true #1 receiver, Romeo Doubs. If he can go in there, build some chemistry with Mendoza, and maybe just have an explosive season in Las Vegas. You do have Trey Tucker there, who has been pretty solid, so Doubs and Tucker could be kind of your 1-2 punch. And then you have Genty in the backfield, as I mentioned. So you want to make Mendoza's life as easy as possible, and I think adding an offensive lineman, like Ryan said, adding a receiver, and I think the Raiders will be good to go.
Just a few moves, and that Raiders offense could be frisky, especially from a fantasy perspective with all those players at the skill positions. Ryan, Wilson, John Breech, guys, don't go anywhere. One more segment with you coming right up, but let's cap things off with the odds to win the AFC West. The Chargers are the betting favorite. It might surprise some, although it's still tight. We're talking 15, 25 cents here. Broncos, who won the Division 1C last year, coming in at 2-1.